We're changing that. We are here to break the silence. We are here to spark the meaningful conversations and arm you with the knowledge you need to take charge of our health, of your health, or support the men you love. That is the most important thing, support. So now just brace yourself because we have got some absolutely powerhouses in the house today. First up, our main speaker is the dynamic Dr. Sania Honsi, whose expertise and dedication to health advocacy will leave you inspired and informed. And we have another incredible speaker of the day. But before I welcome him, I would like hand over to Dr. Sunny. If you can just if you can just say a few words.
Hmm.
I think there's some internet.
Okay, you can all hear me?
Yes, yes.
Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, please.
Today will be an exciting one again. And as you all know, our Wednesday program is all about Know Your Body program, where we have a professional, a practitioner who come to give us a lot of information about how our body works. If your body is telling you something, you need to understand it so that you can nurture, you can look after your body. If you look after your body, then your body will look after you. This program, every Wednesday, it is what it is. Invite all your loved ones. Now, we're dealing with men's issue today, but this is the point. Anything that affects a man affects the whole world. Why? Because women, they have husband, they have boyfriend, they have fiancés, they have father, they have brother, who are men. And you know, equally, anything that affects women affects the whole world because have wives, sisters, mother, nieces, and all of that simply who are female. A body is a very, very complex machine, as one of my doctors alluded to, on the planet. And this body require different ways of actually looking after this body in a process. But today we want to discuss about men's issue. And why men's issue? Well, as our host just mentioned, men don't really receive a lot of what? Attention. I was one of the steering committee very recently on menopause. So I raised the issue. I said, how about the issue of andropause? And a lot of people in the audience, they understand what I was talking about. I said, well, that's the male version of the menopause for women. They say, really? So men also go through menopause? So of course, in fact, sometimes it's actually more severe compared to that of women. And you hear a lot of men committing suicide, they die of this and that, taking their own lives. That's exactly what it is. So, but today we want to see create awareness for prostate. If you have anyone above 50, particularly of the ethnic minority group, the Black, the Asian, and the African Caribbean community, you see, go back to them, ask your brother, ask your husband, say, have you checked the condition of your prostate? And we men, we think, yes, we are big enough, we are men, we are old enough. No, you're not. You're not big enough, you're not old enough. Go and check it out. As you on this particular platform right now, do you know anyone on your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your WhatsApp that you can actually send the invite to? So that let them come and listen to this. The platform is not designed to be a consultative platform. It's not for consultation, it's for information, for educations. Because when you're educated, you learn, then you can act appropriately. That is the whole purpose of this particular platform. And to have today somebody and for Derek to actually volunteer. And if I could just make a disclaimer here, Derek is not paid for this particular appearance. Derek is coming to volunteer his own time for humanity and for people who are here. And hopefully, even people who are not here, because the information you may hear now, you may use it, you may percolate it, you may spread it across the whole of all the other unit. So without further ado, we will now go back to our host, who will now introduce officially Derek for today's presentation on prostate. Back to you, Ash.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. So we have our speaker of the day, Derek Giddens. He is the founder and chairman of Men's Health and Wellbeing Group, Midlands, UK. Derek isn't just passionate about men's health, he's on a mission to create safe spaces, spark the conversations, and inspire action. So whether it's about mental health, chronic diseases, or just fun physical activities like walking, football, and badminton, Derek's group is all about community, connection, and most importantly, empowerment. So what do we have today? First, we'll have a real talk about prostate cancer and men's health. Then we have actionable strategies to live healthier, stronger lives, and a chance to ask questions, connect, and leave feeling empowered. And here's the thing, health isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. So let's just sit back, lean in, and get ready to know your body like never before. Let's make this super duper Wednesday to remember. Over to you, Derek. Sorry.
Come out of that. We go share. Can you see that, Ash? Hi, Ash. Can you see what I'm putting on the screen?
Not yet.
What is prostate cancer? I don't know what's happening here. Press share.
Derek, you cannot share until I made you a co-host, which I've done.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me see where I am. Can we see this yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now you're able to share your full screen.
But you're a co-host, you can share your screen.
Let me come out. Let's try again. Share. The wonders of technology. Yes, no.
Not yet.
No.
Are we there yet? Not yet. Are we there yet? Not yet. Let's play a game.
I'm sharing my end, but for some reason it's not coming your end.
If you can share the link or something, then I may be able to share it on my screen.
Sorry, what do you want me to do, Ash?
If you have a link for your presentation or something, then I can probably share it on my screen.
This is something else I need to do. It's in a PowerPoint, but I don't have a link for it.
Okay, can you send it by WhatsApp at all? If you send it by WhatsApp to Ash, I should be able to share it.
No, I don't think I can send it. I don't think I can send it by WhatsApp. I've never done that. I've never sent PowerPoint via WhatsApp, Dr. Sunny.
No, the PowerPoint, you just press on it, then it says copy. You copy it, then you send it to Ash.
Okay, let's see.
Or probably just, the file where it is saved, just drag and drop. That's it.
Drag and drop it through. Oh, 1 second, 1 second. I just saw share there. Oh,
Yes, perfect. We can see your screen now.
you can see my screen now.
Yes, please.
Sorry about that.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
if you can
I
just
see my
click
screen now.
on, if you just click on slideshow. Yes, please.
Okay, brilliant.
Perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
sorry about
Good
that.
to go.
The wonders of technology and my age. But thank you very much for you youngsters. Anyway,
All
I
right.
just wanted to introduce myself, and actually I wanted to pick up on a couple of things that Ash and Dr. Sunny said. I'm Derek Giddon. I represent a group called Men's Health and Wellbeing in the UK. I set that group up and founder. We've got nearly 80 men in that group. And, we support men in a holistic range of health issues. When I set this up, it was prostate cancer. I was really trying to support men on, but actually I have to say that mental health is the biggest thing affecting guys in the UK. But prostate cancer remains right up there on our radar in the UK. I don't know what it's like in any other countries, but the statistic that we've just had, I don't know what it's like globally, but was the fact that prostate cancer has now become the most commonly diagnosed cancer in the UK. Now, you might think, well, wasn't it that already? It wasn't actually. It was breast cancer. But the statistic I've got now is that actually prostate cancer has leaped over breast cancer. I love what Dr. Sunny said about women. And when I set this up, I was only thinking of men. But I have to definitely and honestly say women are a very important part of this process, supporting the men on this journey. Some of my partners, Prostate Cancer UK, Tackle Prostate, they say prostate cancer is a couple's disease. And when they told me this a little while ago, I thought, really? But I get it. Women are the drivers, are one of the big drivers with men getting tested and following through with treatment, bringing the knowledge and information to men. So women are actually a vital part of that process. And, Dr. Sunny alluded to that, and I wanted to second that. I've been to meetings where people have called me to speak about prostate cancer, and I'm thinking, hey, there's going to be a bunch of men. Actually, there's a bunch of women. There were 49 women and 1 man. So, that tells you a lot. The women are very proactive. You guys look after your house. You talk with each other. You talk with sisters, talk with mother. Men are so not like that. So when Dr. Sunny said about attention, I'm pumping up the attention, but I want guys to be more proactive. And I think Ash or Dr. Sunny said, one of our big mantras is actually we as men need to take responsibility for our health. In the UK, I cannot speak globally, our health service is under pressure. And when I say that, resources, money, staff, facilities, etc. And so it's become very, very important that guys get this. I've had 2 or 3 friends die of prostate cancer. We didn't even know they had prostate cancer. But the main thing, they were diagnosed very late. And, as I'm sure that some of you know, prostate has 4 different stages, like any other cancer, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The problem is in stage 4, the cancer started to move to other places. So I just wanted to open up on that. Hopefully I'm not frightening you guys, but that is the reality of it is. In the UK, the awareness has been heightened, but I have to say that we need to move from awareness to then action. I mean, for us in the UK, we've recently had some high-profile figures who have been diagnosed. We've got Chris Hoy, who's an Olympian cyclist. We've got Steve McQueen, the film producer. And we've got no less than King Charles. While they actually haven't called it prostate cancer, I'm pretty confident it is. But, these guys like to be very colorful, their language, not quite saying it's prostate cancer, but You know, that's what I'm reading. So it's very much on the radar in the UK. I also want to add that then through groups like ourselves and others, we've been lobbying for a men's health strategy. I think a few months ago, I came on this platform and I was sharing our thoughts around a men's health strategy. In England and the UK, we have a women's health strategy, bully great women, but we didn't have a men's health strategy, which is pretty ironic. And I think that's one of the biggest inequalities per se. I never realized this until I really started to push this vote out. So I then found it wasn't just about supporting men. We had to also start to align ourselves strategically. And in the first time in the UK history, in health history, our Health and Social Secretary is Wes Streeting has announced plans for men's health strategy. Now that is massive. That is significant. He said this year, I don't know if that's going to be next week or the end of the year, but no health secretary has done that. So now we start to get onto the radar. So that is a massive step from the UK to actually take that on board. Obviously, it's not just about the strategy. They're also going to have to put money behind that to help us, you know, and the significant things around screening. But that's just a basic introduction. I will just whistle through a few slides, but I'll also talk about a number of other statistics around prostate cancer. Here's all the guys that are MPs who've got behind this. Steve McQueen at the end is the film producer. The other guy on the other side is the chairman of Tackle Prostate, and it is if there's any UK guys in it can recognise some of these MPs. They went up to the House of Parliament and lobbied for exactly what I said, a men's health strategy, and a little after that it was agreed. What is prostate cancer? Again, I have to say that, you know, I don't want to be teaching my granny to suck eggs, but, you know, I do this to many different places, and, you know, I just thought this slide is appropriate. You know, where is it? You know, what does it do? And what does it carry? So, I mean, the diagram is self-explanatory. You know, again, the thing is, while we talk about older men, it has been known for younger guys to actually have prostate cancer in their 30s. And in some cases, we've been into schools and it's been a real good education for them. You know, we ask, where's the prostate? And someone says, in the arm, the neck, the leg. They haven't got a clue. So it's good for our young people to understand their bodies as well. So that's just a basic diagram showing you where everything's laid out. Which conditions affect the prostate? What we hear a lot about is enlarged prostate. I mean, I personally have an enlarged prostate, which doesn't mean I've got prostate cancer, but it then means I have a lot of symptoms, you know, running to the bathroom, or did have, running to the bathroom, problems at night, waking up 3-4 times at night, having difficulty urinating, you know, not being able to control urinating, and all those other symptoms. Does not necessarily mean that guys have got prostate cancer. It means that over age and time, the prostate has become enlarged, and with that, it presses on various tubes, you know, that actually control the urine and supply of urine. And these are the conditions, but basically, an enlarged prostate, prostatitis, and prostate cancer. You know, so those are the things that come as a consequence to our prostate and age, you know, getting larger and our age. I'm talking about in the UK. Dr. Sunny alluded to this, that the normal statistic is, say, 1 in 8 men. So we're looking at the indigenous population, 1 in 8 men will suffer from prostate cancer. In our community, as in the Black, Asian, Afro-Caribbean community, it's 1 in 4. That's a well-known statistic, you know, well documented. But my challenge has been in the UK that while that group has a very high statistic, it's actually, it's not been deemed a priority in terms of treatment, in terms of screening, etc. So those two things don't interlink, and I think it's very poor show. So part of us pushing our government is to acknowledge if we've got a priority group, we need to actually look at that group, high risk groups, let's say, as a priority and put resources in place. The statistics here are pretty alarming. 52,000 men a year are diagnosed with prostate cancer. 10,000 are diagnosed late. and I have to say that these figures may well be out of date, and I'll probably say they're higher. I won't say they're higher. I definitely say they're higher. I mean, because of the heightened awareness, that 52,000 is going to be a lot higher. And it then doesn't mean necessarily that the diagnosed late will be lower. But that 10,000 means that's 10,000 men who'd actually die. So when we say late, it's actually too late to capture the prostate cancer and actually treat it. What I would know if I had it all right. These are just some of the myths that guys think, and we try and dispel those. We've known, and it is fair to say there's several guys who actually don't have any symptoms whatsoever. So even the urine one and all of that, nothing at all, but then actually have got prostate cancer. Now, within the UK, at the moment, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100% reliable. I think the latest I got was about 75%, but it's the best we've got at the moment. But technology is coming into place as we go. So hopefully going forward, we will have a great accuracy, but 75% in my estimation is still very high, through a PSA blood test. I don't know if I had it all right. Early stages often have no symptoms. That's not correct. It's vital men at risk do not wait for symptoms. That's correct. And again, I think that I come onto this. Men's risk of increases over age and with ethnicity. Here we go, 50 and over. I have to say that, I think talking to my partners, that figure, particularly in the Afro-Caribbean community, is lower. It should be 45, but there is not any official screening program at the moment. But we're actually encouraging guys from the age of 40, 45 to get tested. Some of them are challenged. Doctors don't want to, GPs want to test them. But we are suggesting, because they're in that higher group, to get tested early. What was I going to add on that? This is the 1 in 4 that I mentioned. The other thing is that a very interesting fact is that we then found that, especially in the Afro-Caribbean community, they never knew that family actually had prostate cancer. Culturally, we wouldn't probably call it prostate cancer. We might call it waterworks problems, or just had a weak bladder, or whatever. I'm talking about in the Caribbean, a lot of those guys died. It was never labeled prostate cancer. So then when people have checked it and brought it back here, they found that some of their relatives closer to home actually had prostate cancer. It actually was in their bloodline, so to speak. But the other thing is that actually also on the women's side as well. So if women have had cervical cancer, had breast cancer, that also increases your risk. So we will encourage guys who actually have got family inherently who have had prostate cancer or any other cancers on the women's side to get tested as early as possible, a PSA blood test. This is something that we've got here, which is a checker for just seeing what the risk is. It puts in age and ethnicity and all of that. And we're doing that via technology. And again, I think some of the technology has become very useful. Some guys don't like to go away and, check out their risks, go and see a doctor. I have to be honest, in the UK, seeing a doctor has become a privilege now. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but these days we cannot actually get in to see a doctor. It's become all appointments on the phone. I had a rash on my neck, and I was told, oh, maybe you need to get a doctor to check it. And I called the doctor, and he called me back. At the end of the day, I called him at the beginning. I'm thinking, if I had a serious condition, I don't know what would have happened. But anyway, he said to me, yeah, okay, take a picture and send it. So that's where we're getting. We're not getting the privilege of actually seeing a doctor very easily these days, a GP. But requesting a blood test, and then the first port of call to actually get that done through a surgery, a qualified nurse, a phlebotomist, etc., to do that, and then see what your results and what your PSA results are, which then give an indication of any treatment or process from there. Again, one of the things that we have to say, again, I cannot speak for the rest of the world and globally, and I will be interested actually to feedback on how some of this may be done other places. In the UK, The old strategy was sticking a finger up your bottom, feeling the prostate, whether it's hard or soft, and that gives you some indication if there's anything going on. We are moving more to a rectal process where it may not be that, but we haven't got there yet. I mean, I was told, oh, we're going away from all of that. But when I went to get my PSA test done, the first thing the doctor said, could you bend over, please? So it is still around, it's still there, and it just gives an acid test for the doctor to then go from there. The PSA blood test obviously is a bit more definitive, but as time goes by, I'm sure technology will proceed the finger up bum. But I also have to say that in that particular examination, guys in our community, I'm talking about Africa, Caribbean, Asian, etc., they've got a myth around this, and I think it is a myth, that there's something a bit untoward happening. Somebody put a finger up your bum. But the thing is, I've said in meetings, guys, come on, let's get real here. This is a professional, a doctor. He's going to wear gloves, and it's your health. And actually, the way you guys are, you won't be seeing this guy for another 5 years anyway. Another 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So if that is something that saved these guys' life, let's bite the bullet. Who said the doctor's gay? Who said you're not gay? So you're married. So come on, guys, let's get real. So here's some myths that people have, and again, we've just preempted this over a period of time. Is how some of these things have come up. Prostate is good, is the good cancer to get. No cancers are good. The doctor will invite me for a test if I'm at risk. Not in the UK, because we haven't got a screening program at the moment. Hopefully, going forward in the near future, that will change. All men are at the same risk of prostate cancer. That's not correct. I'm thinking about our high risk group and in the Afro-Caribbean and Asian and African community. I shouldn't bother my doctor unless I have symptoms. Totally incorrect. There's a bunch of guys, thousands of guys who actually have no symptoms. And here's the reality: 10,000 guys actually are diagnosed too late. They've gone, they've died. We don't have a screening program here, so no doctor or anybody's going to get in touch with you when you reach 45 to 50. No, that's not going to happen at the moment. Black men are at double the risk of the indigenous population, and early prostate cancer doesn't have many symptoms, if any. That's just a support page, and just a few things that we've just added on the end there. But I just wanted to share a couple of things, and I'm particularly talking about the UK. As I said, I cannot speak globally, but around the UK, incidence and prevalence, we have 130 men are diagnosed every day in the UK, which adds up to over 50,000 cases each year. It's estimated that 400,000 men living with prostate cancer in the UK. That's another thing that a lot of people don't acknowledge. We have some guys who their cancer is not aggressive, and actually they get very little or not very much treatment, and they live with it. But it's what we call active surveillance. That cancer, and if it's defined in the prostate itself, can be monitored. Obviously, it relies on regular surveillance, but there are many guys who it's not that aggressive and it can be monitored. Mortality, 12,000, I said 10 there. My up-to-date figures tell me 12,000 men die from prostate cancer every year in the UK. The survival rate has also gone up. And I think because of the whole awareness thing, more guys are getting tested. The women are pushing and pulling these guys into getting PSA blood tests. So we've got a 5-year, which has increased, and it's increased over the last 40 years to 95%. So that's absolutely amazing that, they're diagnosing prostate cancer early, and 95% of guys are living till at least 5 years. I know many more who are living much longer than that. I've mentioned the Asian risk for our community, research and awareness. The Prostate Cancer UK and Tackle Prostate Cancer. These are two big organizations pushing and pulling on prostate cancer. They receive lots of money through donations, and research continues as to what causes it, why are we at higher risk. I'm talking about our community, and what can be done, whether it be medication and other things, to address prostate cancer. As I said, currently in the UK, we don't have a current screening program. We desperately need one that would capture even more men earlier rather than later. But one thing I just wanted to end on was saying that one of the projects that I'm looking at doing, specifically for the UK, is actually is a screening program. Now, screening programs should actually happen through our NHS, our National Health Service. They seem to be pushed for funding. And one of the proposals I put in recently was to do screening in our community. We actually have a GP on our committee. I hasten to add there's a lady, which guys are saying, hold on, we should have men, but she doesn't come to meetings, but her knowledge and experience is amazing. And so we actually have a medical professional behind this. And if we were able to actually get screening into our community, this will be a first, and it will be an absolutely amazing thing to do, so that we're not actually relying on trying to get into a doctor, which may be very difficult, but we're able to do fully controlled and monitored and professional staff, etc., into our community. So it alleviates that massive obstacle of actually having to see a doctor to get a blood test. So I'm really looking with a bated breath and see if we are able to get that funding to put that in place, because that will be an absolute first in the UK. And it isn't even about a first, it's actually about actually trying to capture more men as quickly as possible with that screening program, with that facility. So I'm waiting to see what happens. I mean, I don't know, and I've got my own feelings about how the NHS may deem that, because we're taking it out of their hands, but they're not able to. And if it helps them to fast forward or get resources to do it on a bigger scale, great. So that's where I'm at the moment in terms of the group that I'm involved in and other strategic partners in the UK. So that's me, really. I don't know if there's any questions that anybody's got that I can answer. Anything from anybody? Nice to hear.
Is there a central place, or have you managed to set up a center of any kind that does screening?
No, we haven't done that yet. I'm waiting for the funding. There's no point me doing that. A few people have actually tried to do screening in their community, and they haven't been successful. It's got crushed because of politics and the bureaucracy. But at the moment, we don't have a centre. As soon as, if we were to get funding, we would do that. We're based in Birmingham in the UK.
Okay.
But we don't. No, I'm just saying we've got a lot of strategic partners in other parts of the UK, and we would definitely want to share that with you. Whereabouts are you in the UK?
Yes, I'm in the UK as well. I'm based around London.
That's fine. That's fine. We've got partners up there. There's a chap who's a massive advocate, who's a good friend of mine, Errol McKellar. And again, in Nottingham and other places as well. This is about sharing knowledge and information and actually a network. But I'm just awaiting the outcome of that application.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, Derek, thank you so much for that a high level of awareness in terms of what PROSAID actually stands for. And like we said, this particular day, every Wednesday, we discuss different issues affecting men and women and the general health of everyone. Funding is quite an issue, whether it is prostate or it is menopause issues and all the rest of them. But in our London clinic, we're trying to set this up privately.
Brilliant.
So that people can have access to it, but it is a paid service.
That's a brilliant point, Dr. Sonny. And you just triggered me off on this. I believe we are now in a two-tier system. And what I'm looking at is actually setting up a paid set of services. They are guys who can and will afford to pay, to get
Yep.
tested, get treatment sooner rather than later. So that's a great point. It's a great point, Dr. Sunny.
Yeah. Because sometimes, like you said, I mean, one of the major issues in terms of healthcare is all about governance and leadership.
Yes.
And there's a lot of lip service from the power that is be, or the power that is in existence, in relation to what actually happened. So on the base of that, we're taking the bull by the feet,
Brilliant.
by the tail, by the horn, by the belly, by every part of the bull.
Love it. Brilliant.
And this is not only just going to be affecting human men, it's also going to be affecting women as well, so that they can properly be tested and report can be given. Then they can go for much earlier detection and treatment at the same time. Because as the saying goes, a stitch in time saves 9.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a number of guys have joined various private health plans, and I have to be honest with you, they are very, very good. You know, there's one that somebody's telling me about. He has an annual man's MOT, so to speak, and he has a 30-page report on his whole body, and it comes up with green, amber, red, paid service. And, you know, I'm amazed at the information and the detail it gives, the technology, it has practitioners involved as well. So people are happy to pay for that. You get the results and you can monitor and take responsibility yourself.
Correct.
Christina's got her hand up. I don't know if you're still there, Christina. You want to ask something, Christina?
Yeah, Chris, we cannot hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Sunny. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Eric Boyner. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit low and a bit fuzzy.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. Derek.
Lost her.
I can type the questions if it's okay.
No, it goes in and out. Carry on, Christina. It's okay. If for some reason it might be your internet connection, but you speak and tell us, and then we'll tell you if we can't hear your questions.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. So I have 2 questions. First one is, what type of treatments your clinic has, and in case that, for instance, if there are any emergency patients, what is the best way to direct them to have access to treatment, please? Thank you so much.
No problem. We don't operate a practice. We actually work with guys, and we are trying to connect with guys who normally are not interacting with health services. So we don't actually have a clinic. We don't have equipment. Well, we have a lot of specialists around us. So at the moment, we would have to refer people to the NHS system. And with prostate cancer, there's a variety of different types of treatment. The challenge, as we start talking about private treatment, sometimes the waiting time for this treatment is considerable. And I think since COVID, that has intensified. And, you know, as Dr. Sunny was saying, early intervention saves lives. And that's a challenge. So this is why we need a health strategy. We need a lot of money putting behind this, several million. We would only touch the tip of the iceberg. But I think that at the moment, any guys wanting PSA tests cannot get this done very quickly, because you're relying on actually being able to book an appointment with a GP, or speaking one with at least. And that has almost become impossible in the UK. Since COVID, that interaction is very limited. And when you say an appointment, it doesn't mean a personal appointment. It actually means on the phone. So we don't operate anything. But as I said, if we were able to get funding, we would set somewhere up that we could do this, and bring professional medical people into to deliver it. So, did you have another question, Christina?
Yes, amazing. Thank you. So basically, like a startup, which is great. One of the other questions I was thinking of while you was talking.
Yeah, Chris, I feel your line is
Dr.
distorted
Derek,
again.
is what should be the best strategy to reach the audience, to encourage them to take the leap of faith, for them to proceed ahead with the test? Can you hear me?
I almost got everything you said, just except the last bit. What strategy to reach?
Can hear you very well.
Yeah, was you saying what was the best strategy to reach men?
Or
and
perhaps I will just type my question.
Okay.
I think would be better.
Okay then. I think I got the gist of that. I'll wait for the question.
Yes, to reach.
Well, one of the best way for me, based on my experience, is go through their wives or their girlfriends.
Reach the audience.
Wives and girlfriend, or your female mom or dad, they have more influence. They can exert a lot of influence on men, because men will always say, "Oh yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow," and they never do it. But when you go through their wives or their girlfriend, they get things done much quicker. So if you have your boyfriend, your husband, your brother, always make sure you remind them, have you done your prostate check? Once a year is not too many, but for that, once a year is too many for a lot of men. Believe me, really, really too many. Persuade them, encourage them, let them go for it. Because men, traditionally, they listen more to their wife just to get rid of all the nagging, but don't nag them. Just say, have you done it? Yep. If they have not been able to respond back to you, remind them again and again and again. There is no harm in that. So go through their wives or their girlfriends.
Well, I'm agreeing with that. When we can contact, when we have women, we know those women are going to go and do something with that information. I have to say that we have done lots of formal meetings where we've had some great guest speakers, medically, prostate, mental health, everything. And we've been operating for 2 years. And actually, a lot of men don't like to sit there and have guys talk to them. That doesn't excite them. So come next Tuesday, we had this idea of doing some social events that actually may bring them out to connect with other men and socialize. And actually in that forum, we will be able to get some message across. So we're trying different things. We've tried a lot of things that work and don't work. You know, we went to supermarkets, we gave out leaflets, and we never saw nobody, right? So it was a lot of hard work for nothing. So we're learning a lot of things, but socially we're trying this. We do lots of stalls at Health Expos and things like that. Again, what you notice is that Health Expos doesn't seem to attract people who need to take their health seriously. It's for the more guys who are healthy already. So it's not so easy. It's not so easy, but I think 2 years on, we learned a lot of things. I'm just in the midst of a report, and I think maybe another time I'm going to come back and share that with you guys in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that maybe help you guys to, you know, not waste a lot of time with some of the strategies that we tried. Yeah. So good question, actually. Very good question. I wish we had $1 million question that once answer I could give you to that one. It's not so easy. Men are different, totally different to women. And as I said, we mainly see women. As I said, they invited us to prostate cancer. I thought it was men there. When I got there, literally, you think I'm joking, it's 49 women. And I thought there's no men. And there was a guy around the corner. I said, oh, right. And then another guy came. But the women are focused, and women are a very important part of this process. So brilliant. Brilliant question. A very good question. I'll come back. When I finish my report, I will share that. I will share that with the group. That will be a good thing to share. Anything else from anybody else?
Yeah, there is a question there. You say, are there specific health disparity affecting men from different ethnic or socio-economic background in terms of approach to prostate?
Are there any specific health disparities affecting men from different? Any specific health disparities? One thing I'm going to throw out there. You guys are more, hands-on. Is that we noticed, and I say noticed. I'm talking personally. I'm talking about a lot of the guys in our group. That diet and lifestyle had a massive effect on prostate. So again, I'm not going to specifically say we shouldn't eat certain things, but they also the research is out there, and I've been badgering my colleagues. You're spending all this money on research. What is the outcome of these things? But I have to say, in general terms, diet and nutrition has, and I'm sure Dr. Sunny will agree, on our medical condition anyway, but there's a significant linkage between prostate cancer and our diet and nutrition. And again, there's some really great clips, do your own due diligence, but diet and lifestyle. And when I say lifestyle as well, I also have to say one thing that we homed in on was physical activities. We started off saying sports activities. Again, guys didn't like that. It sounded too competitive and, let's try and win the game or whatever we're playing. So we changed it to fun physical activities. So exercise was also a very important thing. And the other one that also came out was sleep. That a lot of guys were not getting enough sleep. Now, as to how those all link, or one in particular, I cannot say that, but I think that combination where guys, and it's not the amount of hours of sleep, it's the quality of sleep, as I'm sure our practitioners will agree. But, all of those are in our grasp. They're not rocket science, right? And I will say, after lots of water, flushing our system and decent water, flushing our kidneys and all those things, without too much stress. I mean, we were saying so many pints of water and all of this. I'm not sure on that. I'm thinking fluids generally, but, water, because, that's our main makeup. But a lot of things are common sense, so, but another thing that I have to say in general terms for men was about their, keeping their brains active. And I'm saying, that actually you've got interest and you're using your brain cells and you're, using those cells to puzzles and working things out and all of that. Because then I think that sometimes some of these conditions are also interlinked. You're stressed out. I think it's well said that a lot of cancers can be as a consequence to stress. So if somebody is mentally ill, they also put themselves on that radar as well, So I don't think there's any one thing, but there's a lot of common sense things. And I think anybody with prostate related issues should look at those. And again, one thing I'll throw in there is that the fact that then somebody has a high PSA, or higher than normal, there could be a number of reasons why. The guy's riding 50 miles a day and he's having sex. These things can actually affect your PSA. So again, you have a high PSA, your doctor is going to do his job, but actually it may be just overactive in the things that you're doing. Same sort of thing with, not enough sleep, etc., and not enough exercise. So I don't think there's any one thing. I think it's a combination of various things. What vaccinations are recommended for men throughout their lives? I'm not coming in on that. I can't speak for that. I've got my own take on vaccinations. I don't know if you want to say anything, Dr. Sunny, on that.
And that's an interesting question. As far as the prostate is concerned at the moment, there's not any recommended vaccination. But I should mention, Derek, one of those is to avoidance of sedentary non-physical activities exercise. And a lot of people that are in terms of socio-economic, people in a lot of poorer parts of England, for example, in the north, like the Midlands and the North, there are more tendency for them to suffer from prostate, the men in particular. And there's also a disparity between the Asian and other ethnic minority, Black, Caribbeans, and African, that are more prone to prostate compared to the white counterpart. In fact, the chasm, the difference is so large. So that's why it is always compelling for, if you are from those background, then you
Yes.
need to be much careful in terms of how you approach this particular subject. I think it's all about cultural things as well, because a lot of men from Asian and African and Caribbean background, they feel that exposing themselves publicly is something that is like a stigma. But the reality is, it is not. It's all about your life. It's not about being stigmatized.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was going to add something there that what was I going to say now? There's a stigma attached around that, and we need to come away from that sort of stigma. Because what I'm saying is that then guys bury their head in the sand and then don't do anything, right? Even the wife doesn't even know the conditions or symptoms that the guy has. So yeah, sorry, was that Ash going to say something?
No, it was just my question I asked, the vaccination thing.
No, not as far as I know. Not as far as
Okay.
I know, anything like that. I think Dr. Sunny's has answered that. Not with regard to prostate anyway. But as I said, it's just early intervention. I think the PSA gives you a basic testing. What's happening. As I said, is not 100% like nothing is, but 75% is very high actually. So it gives a good indication. Yeah.
I just have like question, like, does fatherhood impact like men's physical and mental health?
Sorry, what was that?
My question is like, when does fatherhood generally impacts men's physical and mental health?
Fatherhood,
Yeah.
becoming a father.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to answer. I'd also like Dr. Sunny to say what he's going to say from experience. I think it does. I think it really does, because of the fact that you've got another member of the family you have to, and then again, culturally, this protect and the leader and all of that puts immense pressure on men who then become a father, that actually I'm not just providing my wife, here's some children, and I've got to, be working and income and keep a roof over my head. Absolutely. What do you want to add to that, Dr. Sunny? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, yeah, Derek, what you said is so spot on. Is the appropriate part of it. I think, and this is why it is as relevant as women to attend this particular presentation, so that they can get education, information that they can use to support the male members of the family, either their husband, their boyfriend, their brother, or their nephew. So everyone is interest of everyone is at stake when it comes to men's health.
I was going to add something else, actually, which is what I was thinking Ash was asking me. And again, this is not to scare anybody, but potentially somebody having their prostate out could also have erectile dysfunction. And again, this is another issue within our community, why guys are ducking and diving. And actually, I don't know what the statistics are, and I'm not saying specifically our community, where guys have actually killed themselves on the back of been erectile dysfunction. So there's a big need for education around prostate cancer and the different options as well, because not all options take you there. Now, I'm not going to say that in certain cases maybe a good thing to take the prostate out, but there's a range of other options as well that can be used. And you know, the erectile dysfunction one comes up, some guy hears, oh, this guy and his friend, you know, can no longer have sex, right? And that will put him off from going to get tested. Yeah. And for all you know, he may have cancer, it may be not aggressive, or it could be treated in other ways, which maybe doesn't destroy the function of the prostate. So that is something else in there. But I think there's a really need for education around prostate. So here we are, this is what it's all about. But then here are all the different treatment options. We recently did a prostate cancer awareness event in Birmingham, England, very well attended. And as Dr. Sunny said, lots of women came, which is brilliant. They brought some of their guys, boyfriend or husband, some who couldn't bring nobody, just came to bring the information back. But we had some excellent speakers out there, most of the speakers that had prostate cancer. And on that basis, they'd worked with various organizations supporting prostate cancer. And one of the guys, he came in with a range of treatments. And some of those treatments could be paid, but they may not have that effect, you know, that drastic effect. So there's a bit more to all of this. But awareness days and evening are great. What we then need to do is have some action that then delivers, you know, when guys need to get tested, they can get in quickly and get tested, and then let's treat them in whatever option they want. You know, they may have the resources to do private treatment or whatever. Yeah. But education is so important. You know, there's a lot of myths, but most of those myths don't stack up. They're not medically based. They're just, you know, I've heard from the guy down the pub, you know, yeah, is he a doctor? No. Well, I wouldn't worry about what he's talking about then. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so true what you're saying there, Derek. I think traditionally, a lot of medical practitioners, it's all about cutting and butchering, you know, basically. Yeah. But these days, there are so many alternatives that are available that you don't need to butcher anybody at all for any reason, because medical advances are actually going forward. You just cannot imagine. It's incredible. I was reading this week the research that is actually going into cancer itself. Almost 1 million participants are taking place in dealing with oncological issues, cancer, using AI, using technology. So the life is not the medical practices is not the same it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago. With the advent of technology and other alternatives, we're able to deal with all these issues without any butchering, without any cutting of any sort. Our School of Bio-Natural, this is why this information is so useful, so potent, it's so important, so pertinent, that you hear out all the various options before you go for cutting. So cutting is our last, really the last stage of the game. We encourage, don't use cutting, use other interventional approach that bring solution, permanent solution to the client. So hence the reason why we have this particular event every single Wednesday discussing different topics, and it's free of charge. Nobody is charged for this. And if you have any sort of any indication of any of your relatives suffering from any of this, you simply complete the form that is actually being shown in the chat. Complete it confidentially, and one of us will revert. We'll get back to you and find solution for you. If it's going to be operation, then that's what our physician would recommend. There are other interventions. There are so many products, alternative product. I don't even call them the alternative. I call them the real product or what I would call the integrative product that is actually providing solution for so many medical situations that people are suffering from. And just so give you all to speed head start, there's a new organization coming up now in the UK called Integrative Medical Practitioners. What that does, the body is able to assess, they can use allopathic intervention, Western-based, English-based, American-based sort of traditional approach. They can use Chinese acupuncture, maybe that's the alternative, or they can use Ayurvedic intervention. These are trained medical doctors in the Western-based medicine, but now exploring all the various options that will be useful. What that does, it increases patients' choice in the process. You are giving correct information at the point of impact, which was not happening before. Yes. So progress has been made in this direction.
Brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I think you mentioned AI, Doctor. How is AI, just a very quick statement, how is AI affecting things from where you are, in terms of research and knowledge and information? How is that?
Well, AI, which is simply called machine learning, it's all about the application of emerging technology into the healthcare. I mean, that's where I actually come into the whole healthcare system.
Yes.
Using technology to be able to decipher a lot of problems that we are going through today. Technology are smarter, quicker, faster than we as human medical practitioners.
Mm.
If I say to you 10 plus 8 times 15 minus 7 divided by 8, that would take you a long time to calculate and give me a result.
Sure.
If you put on a calculator, it give it to you in seconds, almost immediately. So the awareness is growing that technology will play a major part, or is playing a major part. And the medical profession are now seeing technology to be a tool rather than a competitor. So yes, it's growing. Just to answer your question, the application of technology, emerging technology in healthcare is growing in a phenomenal rate. And
Brilliant.
a lot of research are taking place. Believe me, the medical landscape is going to be fundamentally different within the next 3, 4, 5 years.
In a positive and a great way.
In a very positive way, yes.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. I just wondered what your opinion was. Yeah. And I'm agreeing with you. You obviously, to the extent you're saying, I don't know, but I believe in you. That's good to hear that. Any other questions? That's us, isn't it? Okay. That seems like it, isn't it? No, thank you guys very much for the invite.
Okay.
Sorry I fell a bit on the back foot, but I'm going to do a report. I'm going to do my report around what we're doing and strategies at work, and that will be another session, another day. Hopefully not too soon, Ash, but always glad to come and support you guys. And I need to talk to you guys outside of this. I think there was a gentleman who I connected with, so I need to know more about the natural products and natural things that you guys are doing. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Derek, I think that's if you just stay on for a few more minutes, and we just want to share you with some of the product and the technology of this product and what they can do in terms of optimizing our body capacity to be able to deal with a lot of medical and health issues. So stay tuned, and it's Acea Redox. So if you can just display this and see some of the case studies of what this product are actually doing, because they deal with our cells, and dealing with our cells, our body is made up, is the constitution of our body is made up of cells, and cell biology is what we're trying to demonstrate right now. Yes, Ash? Right. This is the actual product itself. Yeah, guys, just give me a second. Let me just relocate to a particular location. And when you see this product, it's called Acea Redox. And what that does is a reduction of oxidation in our body. What does that actually mean? Well, if our body is oxidated or if our body is inflamed, then we get sick. And our cells are the major component part of our body that helps our body to operate. They help our body to generate all the different chemicals. They help our body to withstand the free radicals. They help our body to be able to process the food that we eat through the digestive system. They have a hormone to be able to create a balance. And this is what happens, scientifically proven. When our cells are weak, then metabolically speaking, we are going to be weak and we will be attacked with every form of disease. But if our cells are actually, in a medical term, in homeostatic state, a balanced state, they are well, they are balanced, they are good looking, they are healthy, our whole body will be absolutely healthy. But when our cells are weak or they are dead, guess what? Our body will be prone to illness and diseases. So from the age of 13, 14, 15, our body's ability to be able to reproduce cells, new cells, because the cells replace themselves every so often. There are about 70 to 80 trillions of cells in our body. And for our body to be able to function, these cells, all of them must be in a homeostatic state, balanced situation, ready to fight, like the Red Army, willing, able, powerful. Well, guess what happens? From that age of 13, 14, 15, these cells, the process begin to slow down. Why? Because our body have been subjected to a lot of toxicity. We eat different food, wrong diet, and so many other things that happen to our body. We had abused our body to be able to cope with all these metabolic constitutions in terms of how our body reacts and functions. And in the process, we get ill, we get sick. And that's why the doctors say, okay, take the antibiotics, because what they believe is that the antibiotics doesn't cure the disease. What it does, it allows your body to be able to cope with that particular situation. That's what the medication does. But what this particular product does, it incentivizes our cells and work within our body using the molecule, water, the blood, the air, the oxygen, everything else. These molecules are produced inside our body. But in the last 20 years, scientists have been able to mimic this molecule outside our body. Therefore, they're able to regulate and bring our body to homeostatic state, able to sustain our chemical powerhouse, the glutamine. They're able to deal with free radicals, the bacteria that could have attacked our body. And this particular product is free of toxicity. If your body has contained any element of dead cells, what do dead cells normally do to our body? Well, they clogged up our whole drainage system, and our cells are unable to work efficiently. The molecules are not able to be transported to different parts of the body in order to strengthen the body the way it should be. But what the readout signaling molecule does, It's able to filter out all those cells that are there and detoxifies our whole body system. If the cells are weak, feeble, they're not able to perform, it energizes them. So they're able to work to full capacity. And this is why one of my doctor friends actually signified this in a graphical form. He said, when breakthroughs happen, so do miracles. This is just incredible. We have had a lot of people that have used it for interventional purposes in different medical situations. Again, some people were asking about the prostate earlier. This could be something that you can take in order to regulate, help your body to function to its full capacity. Because if your body functions to its full capacity, nothing is going to attack you. And besides, these are not based on drugs. It hasn't got any drug-laden chemicals built into it. It's not because we're against any sort of allopathic intervention or somebody taking paracetamol. No. School of Bionatural, we are all about integrative strategy, integrative approach. We believe that one tree cannot make a forest. And in Jamaica, we say one hand cannot clap, no matter how much you try. You try up, back, forward, fast, slow, it cannot. But when you bring the other hand, guess what happens? It claps. You can hear the cause and the effect in the process. So we are looking into various options for the client to say, okay, you try this for many, many years. Why don't you try this? Let's look at a case study of a woman who has suffered from autoimmune condition. And this autoimmune condition resulted in skin disorder. It can be respiratory, it can be other form of condition. But this one, look at this. In a medical term, this is called bullous purpura. What that means is that there is a condition that your body rejects the molecule. You think that they are foreign objects. They start fighting themselves in the process. And this could be the outcome of such a fight. Can you imagine this? And there could be any other form of disease. This could be any form of pregnancies, a woman, going for abortion within, because the cell itself is attacking the cell and the baby cannot be formed in the womb itself. Severe medical condition can actually erupt. But this is this lady here who had actually got in touch with us. That's about a year ago, right? It's almost exactly a year ago, around about the 24th of February, 2024. Look at the history of this particular woman. The geography of this particular client is in London, so it's not far away from here. Between 5 to 6 days, using the ASEA Redox, look at the transformation. The same woman that you have seen in the picture, using the gel and the water. 19 days later, just about under 3 weeks, that's the same lady that you have seen on the 23rd of February and waterlogged within her feet. That's what happens over the stages. And 19 days later, can you imagine what actually had transformed, had transpired with this particular patient? Yes, the cells have come back to homeostatic state, balanced state. Doctors have actually written her off to go home and go and die. They're giving all the palliative instruction to the families and so forth, but look at the transformation. And today we're happy to inform you that Amedra is working even with charity right here in London that are able to see the intervention that other form of intervention were not able to provide. So if you have anyone who is suffering from any sort of medical condition, we're not promising that we're going to cure. What we're saying is we might be able to support them so that the body can withstand those conditions, because it's the body that cures itself, not the medicine. So I hope that really, we have this product as part of our arsenals of products in our warehouse, and you can order them as and when you are ready, even tonight. And again, if you know anyone who is suffering from severe chronic medical condition, let us know. We are willing and able to deal with this particular condition confidentially. They simply need to fill in the form and we're good to go. So we have a lot to offer
Brilliant.
at any point in time.
Can
Yes,
I just
David.
ask then? Can I just ask a question then? What is this? What is this product like specifically around? Have you guys used it for guys suffering from prostate cancer?
Well, why do people suffer from prostate? Because of, again, is any medical condition is as a result of dysfunctional situation of your cells.
Yeah, absolutely.
If your cells, your cell biology are balanced, then there's nothing that can touch area of prostate, headache, brain, and every part of our body. So anyone, including animal, including plant, including human, that have living, they are living organism, this particular intervention had supported them based on research, based on clinical outcome of what has happened. And the product has not only helped thousands, it has helped millions all over the world, including me speaking to you right now. In 18th of February 2019, I had a very, very bad accident. I was involved and my car was written off. And this is not just a small car, S350 Mercedes, right? And the reason why I mentioned the name of the car, Mercedes is one of those cars that have been built in with a lot of security, a lot of safety features, right? And I've been through over 50 physio over the, between 2019 and 2024 when I came across this particular product.
Okay.
I started using the product. Believe me, my back pain and everything had disappeared literally. My eyesight, I used to wear glasses all the time. I can go on for days without the need for me to put on my glasses. All I just need to do, because I work all day long on the computer, I just spray, the redox signaling water on my face, on my hair, and I'm good to go. Energize it, bring you balance to a lot of conditions. So yes, you might know some people who've been suffering for many, many years. Just say to them, okay, give it a try. Try 30 days, 60 days. If it doesn't work, then you move on to a different intervention. So this is how we work.
Okay. Brilliant. Very good. I'll be interested in to offline talking to you or somebody on this. Yeah. That sounds,
you can
very
speak
good
with
to
me
me.
direct. You
No,
can
that's
speak with
fine.
me directly, Derek. Yes,
Okay.
we'll be willing to actually showcase this in any of your event that you'll be organizing in Birmingham in the very near future.
No, I'll take you up on that. Definitely take you up on that, Doctor.
Yeah.
All right. So
Excellent.
I'm out then. I don't know if there's any other questions from anybody, but I'm going now. But
Okay.
I'll talk to you outside of here, Doctor, on that product. Yeah.
Excellent, Derek. Yeah, we look forward to.
Thanks, Ash. Thanks for inviting me, and
soon.
thanks for
Thank you.
everything. And
Thank you. Thank you, Derek,
Bye.
for being such a phenomenal speaker today.
Thank
Thank you
very
for
much.
coming.
Thank you, guys. Bless you all. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, any last question or comment for the day?
Yeah, I just want to bring to attention for all of you here. Now, when there's a dispute between a man and a woman to say who is the real father of the child, how do you settle that case? Whether I am the father of that child. How is it settled normally in a traditional way? What do you have to do? Can I have some comment from the audience?
I think Andrew wants to speak because he's unmuted himself.
Yes, Andrew.
Yes, Andrew, please.
Oh, okay. Traditionally, it would be a blood test,
Very
but
good.
modern day, you would do a DNA test.
Very good. Okay. Just imagine now, this is only imagination. I have a baby with a woman, and we have gone for a DNA test, as Andrew had just mentioned. And the DNA test say it is negative, that I am not the father of that child. You are not the father of that child. What would you do? Would you divorce your wife? Or would you say, let's go for celebration? You just had a baby for me. That is not my baby. What is the situation, do you think? Right. Pedro, let's hear from you.
Sorry, I missed that question, please. I missed the question.
Right. You need to focus now, Pedro. Right. You just had a baby with a woman, Pedro. Yes. Are you here now?
Yes, yes.
And you are suspicious whether that baby belongs to you or it belongs to another man.
Okay.
You have come to my clinic to do a DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
And the DNA and that of the baby do not match. Are you the father of that child or not?
Of course I'm not.
Okay.
If
Very
it
good.
doesn't match, then I mean, of course I'm not.
Okay. Let's go to Ndela. Ndela, are you there? Let me call on people with scientific background. Ndela? Okay. Ndela, are you there? Okay, let's go to Love. Love, just introduce yourself and answer the question, please. Introduce what you do.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Dr. Love. I'm a lecturer, take medical biochemistry in the Guinea America University in North Cyprus. Yes. So, if we have done a test and the result shows that the father DNA does not matches with that of the child, so it automatically means, scientifically, it means that the person is not the father of the child. So,
Very good. Very good. Ndela, are you there? Okay. Ndela, we cannot find him right now. Does anyone have a comment regarding the positions scientifically and biologically? Okay. Now, recent scientific research had just come up that Pedro is actually the father of that child, although their DNA do not match. Isn't that interesting?
Mm.
And
how can that be so?
Exactly. In rare situations, and this has always been proven in recent times, there are times where the DNA do not match that of the mom or the dad. Doesn't mean that they are not the parental genealogy heritage of that particular child. And in the medical term, this is called chimera. C-H-I-M-I-R-A, right? A chimera heritage. What that does, a chimera is any organism that obtain the characteristics of more than one organism. Isn't that amazing? Just imagine how many divorces are taking place over the years simply because the DNA has been done and it has been discovered that it is not. How many times have you heard that somebody, they are both white, but they give birth to a black baby? Have you heard of that story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the mother says, this is not my child. Well, they said, no one else gave birth in this hospital apart from you yourself. So guys, technology and research has advanced in such a way that a lot of new information is emerging day in, day out. That the fact that the DNA doesn't match does not mean that you're not the father necessarily of that particular child. Isn't that amazing? You can do further research on this. It's called chimera or chimera, right? C-H-I-M-E-R-A, right? This is one of my researches in recent days, in recent time, to save so many lives in the process. I hope you find that information useful and it can be part of the arsenal. And let me tell you, a lot of us in the medical field do not understand how that happens, but it's a reality. Research have shown that it is a possibility. And in some cases, you see some monkeys that are having the gene of an elephant, or some people have different skin color in relation to the actual skin color that they should have possessed from birth. Isn't that amazing? That the chimera theory is actually real, and don't just divorce your wife necessarily because the DNA of the child doesn't match with your own DNA. So there are rare cases that you could be one in millions of giving birth to the chimera boy or girl. Right. We'll leave the floor now open for one or two discussion. Then we'll close the day for good. Any questions, any comment on this latest research?
Well, I guess the legal industry has to look into this as well, and I look forward to more research on it for confirmation, because it's going to nullify the current acceptance of DNA.
Correct? No, it's not going to nullify it. You're absolutely right in a way, Pedro. What it's going to do is go into alternatives, whereby you might have the woman to go for lie detective, the lie detective test. There's so many other combinations that you can actually go through because he is actually taking a lot of scientific discovery, a lot of argument between the scientists in terms of what are other strands of evidence that you need to bring together in order to establish the real authenticity. But we have found even in the animal kingdom, whereby a monkey has some characteristics of a leopard, and a goat has some characteristics of a lion, and these are real animal with chimera sort of traits in the process. Yeah, it will not nullify, but it's just going to show. Let's look into other options in terms of validity and verifying the authenticity of the result that has been produced by the medical community.
Well,
Interesting.
this is an alternative to what is in the norm. So
Yes.
it's going to take a lot before it will be accepted as a condition that really does exist. Because
Well,
it's
that's
hypothetical.
true. That's true. It just bears to show. In fact, there are more and more research that's going on in Chimera's formation as we speak, because scientifically they want to be able to understand why. And in fact, I only got in this information just about a month ago. And 3 days ago, there was a debate. No, there was actually an American couple who had the white male, white female, and they had a brown skin baby. Even the woman denied the baby, but the DNA confirmed that it had the DNA of the father and the mother.
Oh. Yeah. Very rare, though. Very rare. Boy.
It is one in millions, if not in billions, but it does happen. Chimera. Yeah, chimera characteristics. Yeah, interesting stuff. So I just said, let me bring that. So when you know some couple who are actually going through a lot of this, they say they're going to divorce, you say, no, go and see Dr. Sonny. Then you can do further analysis in our practice, in our clinic. So we can do a further analysis in order to establish the real situation of that baby. But it's not always the case that the DNA doesn't match with yours. But the case I was just going to, which I started earlier, was that when they did the further analysis, what the medical community finalized was that this woman was actually pregnant for 2 babies. But at the very early stage of the pregnancy, one of the baby died. And the surviving baby absorbed the nutrient of the sister or the brother. And that changed the formation of the DNA completely. Incredible what could happen. So,
but Dr. Sonny, I would think that is rare. It doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't. But it does happen. There are percentages of it that yes, it will happen. But what the scientist community are trying to really establish now, don't just divorce your wife necessarily because the DNA doesn't match with the father's. There could be other explanation for it of chimera formation. Incredible.
How do we spell it? Very.
Yes.
You. How do we spell this?
Huh?
How do we spell this chimera? Is it CH?
CHIMERA. But just to think about this. Have you not seen when a boy? Yeah, I was in India recently, and I met one of my business partners. Her nephew is Japanese in every way. The look, the eating habit and everything, they use chopsticks. In India, they don't use chopsticks. They use knives and forks, or they use their hands to eat. But this boy, he uses chopsticks. He looks 100% Japanese. But it's India. How do you explain that? Chimera.
It's the community. Is the community he was living in, probably?
Well, it could be, you may have heard of the phrase throwback. It could well be that in the genealogical tree of great parent, there might be a Japanese or whatever it is, and then it come off in this generation. Right? And I asked the mother, I said, could it be your baby was swapped? He said, no, it wasn't swapped. They have already done DNA, and the DNA is actually relating to the father and herself. Isn't that incredible? But
Mhm.
it looked Japanese in every action.
Yeah, I remember something back in school. There's something like this that I came across it during biology. Is it biology?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's biology. Yes, and we had to. It deals with something about DNA. It's probably something was wrong with the DNA in the beginning while the fetus is being formed. I think that is it.
It's
Mm.
not
Mm.
necessarily that it's wrong. It just followed the natural process of chimera. That's what it is. So you will find that in future, in a not very distant future, this is going to be featured in so many other medical literatures, and people will begin to understand, as Pedro mentioned earlier, there's no longer going to be a lot of going to divorce, because this is, you can imagine chimera children or human have caused a lot of divorces in so many quarters among men and women, particularly for men who feel that the woman have been unfaithful and they divorce the woman in the process. Can you imagine the injustice of that have brought
Mm.
about?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Okay, I guess I remember being at Birkbeck. I was at Birkbeck
Yeah.
2019 doing DNA. I was doing biomedical science,
Okay.
and I did DNA. So
Mhm.
about the adenine and guanine and thymine, the
Yeah.
steps,
Yes.
the
Yes.
chain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The chances of that happening, because transcription and almost like a supervisor who actually walks over the DNA to check it to make
Yep.
sure it is transcribing as it's supposed to be.
Correct.
And we looked at various different ways of it going wrong, and there was very little. Actually, the lady who actually discovered the DNA, she actually went to Birkbeck, the same university that I went to,
Oh,
until
wow.
two more other guys came and took it over, and they looked into it further. But now there is a saving grace from Crimea where it can be checked to see, because once you get the results stating that, look, this is not the father, we can say, okay, let's check for Crimea in case there is some defect in the DNA chain, because you got things like Cypher where they can cut the DNA and splice. But as you said, Dr. Sonny, there may be cases where you have got throwbacks or misinformation of it being transcribed from
Transcribed. Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
from one area to the next.
Correct.
But it is a very difficult, because I remember it was difficult. And as I said to you guys earlier, that at some point I probably will go back to biomedical science, because that's where I was. I didn't quite finish, but I remember. And when you're not like the student they want you to be, you're going to take in more, you're going to absorb more. And I never forget how it works. So basically, there is a saving grace with Crimea in that if it doesn't come out as it should, it simply means that you should check, because the ratio of this happening is almost like 1 in a 10 million people. So it still can happen. So it is a go-to point for DNA and the people who understands it, because as I said, it gets quite complex because there's not many people can sequence DNA. There might be quite a few around, and when you find them, keep them very close, because it's a craft that is so and so. But the designer of the DNA, who's written his name in the DNA, has got a few mysteries in his design. So we're still learning. We're only men. We're still learning about what was created. So that's my take on it.
Fantastic. So, just a piece of news for you all the
Hello,
time.
Hilda.
Yeah.
No
So,
vex.
what
I
I
know
will
no
encourage you. Yeah, Pedro, you are saying? Hi, Pedro.
Please go ahead, Dr. Sunny. I think he might be speaking.
Oh.
sorry, I
Okay.
got a call on the other. I got a
Yeah,
call
he
on the other phone.
called,
I'm
yeah.
sorry about that.
Right. Make it quick because we're going to end this particular platform right now, Pedro. You are going to say something.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with
Okay.
you now. Yeah.
So it has been an amazing evening today in terms of what you heard from Derek and myself and some of the update. So you keep on doing a lot of research because this work in the medical field is not left to the medical practitioner anymore. It is actually left to you right now to start doing a lot of research. In fact, somebody is giving you an injection right now. You say, what is it all for? You have the right, the patient right for you to be able to investigate exactly what is going on. So life is all about education. This platform is purposely educational platform to give you a lot of insight so that you can go on for further research that you can bring before your medical practitioner. This is not to challenge the medical practitioner's expertise, but just to make sure you are content what goes in and outside your body. So it is your health is your responsibility, and you must take charge of all of that. And we look forward to see you again next week. Next week, I think we have a lot more sort of for you in terms of Know Your Body program. For now, we're going to have this platform close, but on Saturday, we will be having 10 a.m. UK time with about the entrepreneurship program. Back to you now, Ash, for the day.
I just want to say like a huge, huge thank you to our phenomenal speakers today, Derek and Dr. Sunny Ahonse, for sharing every passionate and powerful strategies on men's health and well-being. Remember, like these conversations, they just don't end here. Let's just keep the dialogue going, support one another, and just continue prioritizing health and well-being in our communities. We see you Saturday, 10 a.m. UK time. Until next time, just stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving. See you at the next program. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Andrew. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you, Ash.
Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, Patrice. Thank you, Patrice.